This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Rebecca Vargas.
And along with Josh Stone, who's in for John Scalzi, I'm Don Brennan. Indeed, thank you for joining us on this Tuesday morning. Thank you, Josh,
Welcome
for joining
back.
us.
having me. I appreciate that.
Tell me you've got good news.
Well, that's all relative, right?
Right.
For me, you know, things are kind of quiet right now.
Okay.
So as far as good news, I'm trying to figure that out. I like, you know, action.
Well, they
with
say
weather.
fall is in a couple of days, but I don't think any cool weather will be on the way anytime
Not
soon.
so much, yeah. More like a summer-like feel to the atmosphere with highs topping out in the low 90s. Of course, we'll talk about that in just a second. But air temperatures right now in the mid to upper 70s. Of course, further east and away from the coast you go, it's a little bit cooler. 71 over there in Sebring, and also 72 in Lake Placid. But 78 in Venice right now, 80 in Cortez and Inglewood. As far as the shower activity goes, there's a few little showers out here in the Gulf of Mexico. I think we'll have a little more rainfall in the morning hours. Then things start to ramp up in the afternoon. But looks like with the west coast sea breeze, that's going to help trigger those showers and move them eastward as we go through the afternoon. We'll talk more about it coming up.
Thank you, Josh. Taking a look at Suncoast roadways right now. Manatee County looking good. The bridges to and fro. Palmetto looking good. 75, 301, 41 all moving along for normal this time of morning, which is usually low volume and usually pretty good. Also, Sarasota County looking pretty good this morning without any hitches in there. Giddy up. So commute is looking good this morning. As far as news is concerned, topping our news, Mosaic is going public about a massive sinkhole at one of the company's plants. The sinkhole has caused 215 million gallons of what Mosaic calls slightly radioactive water into a water supply source for millions of Floridians.
It started more than 3 weeks ago at the Polk County plant. An employee discovered the sinkhole, and the company says it immediately contacted the EPA and DEP. Mosaic also says it's been able to contain a lot of the toxic material and that residents should not be concerned about contaminated drinking water. But environmentalists and residents aren't just shrugging it off.
That's all, you know, very important that everyone understands that while it's a significant situation, that we had contained it and there was no risk to public health.
Phosphate mining has been leaving scars on our state that you can see from space. It damages our wetlands, our rivers, our coastal waters.
Florida's Department of Environmental Protection says staff members are performing frequent site visits to make sure timely and appropriate response continues. In Sarasota, the city's treatment manager says water in aquifers travels very slowly and that residents should be aware but not concerned. We'll be checking in with Manatee County officials today to see what they have to say about the issue. Meanwhile, Mosaic is pushing back a hearing with Manatee County commissioners to rezone property to expand operations to allow for more phosphate mining at the Wingate East mine. An attorney for the company has requested this hearing be rescheduled to January. The county has approved the request and scheduled the hearing for January the 26th. And according to the Bradenton Herald, Mosaic says the delay is due to timing conflicts. They want to make sure there's enough time for the hearing with commissioners.
And Sarasota County leaders are still working on a way to combat homelessness in the county. According to the Herald Tribune, local government officials and nonprofit groups will meet with the leaders of a Come As You Are shelter in Tallahassee for a presentation today. The Kearney Center for Comprehensive Emergency Services is a 24-hour shelter that started last year from a public-private endorsement. Now, Sarasota leaders think a similar shelter could work here on the Suncoast. The meeting takes place at 1:30 this afternoon. Meanwhile, the Sarasota County City Commission has approved the budget for the upcoming fiscal year as commissioners adopted the $206 million budget in a meeting last night. That's about $12 million more than last year. The tax rate will remain the same, but the city will benefit from increased property values, which have gone up about 30% in the last 5 years.
Meanwhile, one of Sarasota County's 2 representatives in Tallahassee made a rare appearance before the Sarasota City Commission to compare notes on the biggest issues facing the region.
Here's ABC 7's Ray Collins.
The doctor was in Monday night. Orthopedic surgeon and state representative Julio Gonzalez did not need an advanced degree to diagnose Sarasota's biggest issues.
I believe the top priority for me regionally and that's going to consume most of my attention is the issue of homelessness.
And then he said the phrase that made the day of the mayor and the city commission.
Perhaps one of the solutions that we should be looking at is expanding the budgetary pot, the budgetary allocation to that.
Music to their ears, and the mayor asked Gonzalez to help Sarasota network with other areas of the state so they don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to ending the homeless crisis.
How do we get the conversations between those that are already there?
Gonzalez agreed to help and then went on to the next hot topic, he says, to help those who are working but still can't afford to live in Sarasota.
And that challenge trickles down to the employer, because then it becomes really difficult for an employer to hire the supporting personnel that they need to build their company and build their enterprise.
In fact, City Commission recently approved plans to build hundreds of apartments for the working class and service industry in this empty lot off Fruitville Road. Looking ahead to the next session in Tallahassee, Gonzalez says the next big issue there might likely be workers' compensation reform.
There were a couple of Supreme Court opinions that changed the landscape, and I think we'll have to see us addressing that this year.
And Florida's annual 2-month session begins on March 7th. In the newsroom, Ray Collins, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
In Manatee County, commissioners have approved an amendment to the comprehensive land use plan, making it easier to redevelop property along 6 urban corridors. The areas include Manatee Avenue, Cortez Road, 53rd Avenue, and Tamiami Trail. The change would let developers build triple the amount of homes and double the amount of commercial space than previously allowed. The Planning Commission will now look at specifics to revise the current land development code and provide further recommendations. The County Commission will go over those recommendations at 2 meetings in November. And changes to an ordinance could make it easier to preserve historic properties in Manatee County. According to the Bradenton Herald, commissioners have approved a law that will allow owners of the property to get tax exemptions for 10 years on the value of improvements made to the home to maintain it. If a nonprofit group owns the property and it's open to the public, 100% of its value would be exempt. These exemptions apply to property taxes levied by the county. The changes in the ordinance come after the demolition of the Beth Salem house to build a racetrack gas station earlier this year. The city of Anna Maria is making its first move in a legal battle with nearly 70 of its rental property owners. 67 claims have been filed against the city since April, when it voted to limit rental occupancy to a total of 8 people. The city has since approved 28 offers for those claims. Each offer would allow for a different occupancy limit, but in some cases, the city has also offered to purchase the property at the appraisal price, which is significantly lower than the market price. The city says it can afford doing that, and it's not a bluff. And one lawyer says that it could put the property owners in the hot seat.
It is certainly an interesting legal question moving forward as to whether the city can essentially force someone to sell their property or to forego their Harris claim.
Obviously, with a $4 million budget, you couldn't lay out that much capital. So we've looked at financing. We've also looked at selling some of those offers prior to closing.
The mayor acknowledges that the city officials expected legal challenges to come up when they voted to limit the rental occupancy. Now, if owners decline either option, their claim will likely go to court, but the same lawyer says it could be risky if a judge agrees that the city made a fair offer.
And another gas pump skimmer has been found, this one at a Sarasota gas station. Sarasota County Sheriff's investigators say the credit card skimmer was found Sunday at the 7-Eleven store on Clark Road, which is just west of the interstate. If you've purchased gas at this 7-Eleven, you should check your bank statements for unusual activity. Someone can potentially steal your financial information with one of these skimmers. And then the Sheriff's Office also recommends using cash or credit cards when buying gas. And 2 local law enforcement agencies are asking motorists to help stop crime that's completely preventable by locking your car doors. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office says nearly a dozen vehicles were burglarized and one was stolen in the Sorrento Bayside area of Nokomis over the weekend. All of those vehicles were unlocked. The Sarasota Police Department, meanwhile, tweeted this photo saying, "Lock it up, Sarasota." Police say they also responded to several unlocked car burglaries this weekend. It's not just Sarasota County, because Manatee County Sheriff's Office is asking the public for information on who got into 3 unlocked cars around 8 o'clock yesterday morning on Bacon Harbor Loop in Bradenton.
State College of Florida faculty members move ahead with unionizing. They're now the 10th Florida State College to do this. And according to the United Faculty of Florida, the 72-25 vote came after the SCF's Board of Trustees unanimously agreed in January to end continuing contracts, also referred to as tenure, for their new faculty hires. After that decision was made, faculty members delivered a vote of no confidence in the board. A ribbon-cutting ceremony will be held today to celebrate the opening of a new school aimed to help children with autism. This celebration is free and open to the public and will include tours, a bounce house, food and entertainment, all beginning at 2:30. With the new facility, the Academy will be able to serve double the amount of students. It's a nonprofit organization helping children with autism, spectrum disorders, and other disabilities between the ages of 5 and 21. It's located now in the 7500 block of Klockstrasse Drive in Sarasota.
And organizers of Thunder by the Bay are discussing the best spot to hold a popular motorcycle rally. The event draws thousands of motorcyclists from around the country, and it raises money for Suncoast Charities for Children. Lots of money. Thunder by the Bay is typically held in downtown Sarasota, but some merchants have complained about the noise and loss of regular business. The 2017 rally may be held in Payne Park.
There's been some controversy about how it negatively impacts the merchants and residents in the downtown area.
Once organizers make a final decision on the event, they will have to submit a formal plan to the Sarasota City Commission. The next Thunder by the Bay is scheduled to take place January 5th through the 8th of 2017. And I talked to a gentleman yesterday who grew up in Sarasota, and he was adamant that Payne Park was too small, that Main Street was where it should be at. And he's not a biker.
Yeah.
He just felt that that's where it should be held.
Well, hopefully, it's up to the organizers really at the end of the day. And I mean, they're technically allowed to have it on Main Street. I spoke to the city planning and what the process is for that. And they can have it on Main Street, but Payne Park is the option for compromise. So we'll see what they finally decide.
I think Payne Park has some, I mean, I think it has space. He seemed to think it was too small, but also you don't want to make the merchants mad because they're trying to make money. Now, today marks the beginning of 24 hours of giving.
Yes, it's always everyone looks forward to this every year. In just a few hours now, hundreds of nonprofits across the Suncoast will take part in the Giving Challenge, the 5th annual challenge, which is supported by the Community Foundation of Sarasota, Manatee Community Foundation, and Patterson Foundation. Runs from noon today through noon tomorrow. The nonprofits will be vying for matching funds of those who donate. Last year's Giving Challenge raised a record $6 million through 36,000 donations. And people, even if you don't live in Sarasota, Manatee, in this region, all over the world, actually, people have given through because it's online, very easy to give, and it's so many organizations.
Yeah, so many organizations. I emceed a golf tournament and charity benefit for Project 180, which is giving inmates and prisoners and convicts a second chance in life, you know, trying to help them build up so they can get jobs and be on their own and give back to society after having served their sentences, and they're doing that tonight as well.
Awesome. So many organizations, so it's a great opportunity.
Sounds wonderful.
And you don't even have to get outside for it. You can just go right on your computer or on your phone.
I'm trying to give a good fall forecast coming up. Of course, fall starts on Thursday, but
then don't try, just do it.
Just do it, right?
No trying.
You know, like the shoe company, right?
Your weather
just
wand
do it.
out.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, we'll talk about it coming up.
All right, thanks, Josh. And when filling up your tank, is there a difference in between regular gas and premium grades? A new report might surprise you. More on that coming up. Stay with us.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Lease a new 2016 Lexus ES350 for only $329, or enjoy 0.9% APR, just $329, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Get to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today for deals worth celebrating during the Jeep Celebration event. Come shop the area's largest selection of Jeep Wranglers, or check out a new Jeep Cherokee priced as low as $19,999. Stop by to see the stylish new Jeep Renegade starting at just $17,699. Or drive away in a new Jeep Patriot for just $14,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Attention! This is an important message for anyone who had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to their heart or lungs. Did your IVC filter move, break, or cause organ damage? The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, even death. If you or a loved one suffered serious complications, call IVC Filter Helpline now. You may be entitled to compensation. IVC filters are designed to prevent blood clots. If your IVC filter moved or broke and you suffered heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result, call IVC Filter Helpline today. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone. Call IVC Filter Helpline now.
Please call 800-897-6764. That is 800-897-6764.
Stand out in your new Wild Lexus. Lease a new 2016 Lexus RX 350 for only $419, or enjoy 0.9% APR, just $419, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.